Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Be Yourself. This is Dr. Rajni Sharma and we are continuing with the series of immunology. So we already have discussed about the history of immunity and about the innate and acquired immunity, and here we will be discussing about the components of the immune system. In my previous class I already have explained you what is the importance of innate immunity, why it is known as the first line of defense. So let's come to the first point, why it is known as first line of defense. Actually, innate immunity or the first component of the innate immunity, which is the anatomical barrier, is skin or mucous membrane, which is present inside our body and as skin outside our body. So it prevents the entry of microbes to enter inside our body. So we have already discussed about the components of immune system, which is the innate immunity and adaptive immunity. And adaptive immunity we already have discussed in my last video, and if you have missed that video I will be sharing the link in my comment box, as well as you can get the link from the eye icon, which will be flashing just now on the top corner, right corner of your screen. So as adaptive immunity, innate immunity is also important because it is the first line of defense, and there are various components of innate immunity, which are anatomical barrier, physiological barrier, phagocytic barrier and inflammatory barrier. In this section we will be covering only the anatomical barrier. So basically anatomical barrier include the skin and mucous membrane. So we know that skin is the largest organ of our body and it covers all of our body. So whatever the microbes or even the dust particle which is there in our surrounding are not able to penetrate the skin. So basically skin is the first, or you can say the border line between our environment and our body itself, which preventing the microbes and dust particle to enter inside our body. Until and unless there should not be any crack or any injury on the skin, we will be protected. So basically skin has to classified into two components: the uppermost layer, which basically consists of the dead proteins known as keratin, and the inner part is dermis, outer part is epidermis, and the inner part is the dermis. Along with these two parts, they have their own function. Epidermis prevent the, or it is the dead layer of this protein which protect the inner surfaces of the protein, and the dermis part contain a sebaceous gland and sweat gland. So we all know we sweat. So all these are because our gland secretes some salty water from inside and which regulate our body temperature. Sebaceous gland along with the hair follicles, it contain another important thing, which is the sebum secretion, or sebaceous gland secrete the sebum protein. Sebum not it is a protein, it is a secretion of the sebaceous gland. So what the basic function of the skin is that it prevents the entry of microbes and dust inside our body, and the secretion of sebum from the sebaceous gland along with the prevention to penetrate the microbes or dust inside our body. The pH is well maintained by the secretion of the sebum. It contains actually the lactic acid and fatty acid, which maintain the pH of our skin surface to 3 to 5. So you can now understand why even the microbes will settle down on our skin also will not able to grow because of this less pH. But as we all know that survival the fittest concept lies in all living organisms. So here for the microbes also, there are certain microbes which can metabolize this sebum for their survival, and as a result of this, when they metabolize sebum for their growth, we suffer from the acne. So we especially when we don't clean our skin, or when our body has or our skin is secreting large amount of sebum, so it is said that we are having the oily skin. Why we feel the oiliness? Because definitely because of the secretion of the sebum, and it contains the fatty acids. So you know the fatty acids are oily product. So when we get it out from our skin or from the sebum gland, we feel oily skin. So and the bacteria which can survive on the sebum will produce the acne. So actually it is always recommend to prevent the secretion of the sebum. So there are certain antibodies also which will prevent the secretion, or certain medicines which will prevent the secretion of the acne, like the one which is based on the vitamin A. Actually, one acne drug is isotretinoin, which is also known as Accutane, and it basically composed of vitamin A derivative, and it prevents the formation of sebum. So once the sebum will not be formed by the sebaceous gland, bacteria will not be able to invade. So it is one of the nice medicine to prevent the acne to occur. As we have seen that the anatomical barrier, the skin, the mucous membrane which lines our respiratory tract, our gut, intestine, we have a layer of mucus or epithelial cells which secrete the mucus secretion. But there are other routes also where the microbes can enter inside our body, like our eyes, our mouth. But in that also we have some barriers to protect us from the microbes, like we our tear of our eyes and saliva uh, help to wash out the microbes which enter inside our body. Even when we take the microbes inside our stomach, we know that the pH of the stomach is very low because of the HCl. So even if it will not be washed out by the saliva, and even if it will take inside the microbes, then it will not be able to survive in the gut surface. Similarly, you can see the cilia which is lining over the our nostrils, and throughout our respiratory tract we are always feeling the mucus secretion, and when we sneeze we feel the mucus is coming out, and it propels. Actually the cilia movement, you can hear visualize the cilia is moving little bit, so it's beat out the, or it's at the beating movement of cilia will repel out the microbes outside our body. So all these mechanisms are being followed inside our body to prevent the microbes to enter inside. But there are still certain microbes which has overcome these anatomical barriers, like influenza virus is there, like now currently we all are coronavirus is worldwide problem. So all this has adapted to or they have the ability to they make the strategy to cross this anatomical barrier, like influenza virus or the other has the ability to penetrate inside the body, and some bacteria with the help of their fimbriae or cilia able to bind with the ciliary layer which is there in the respiratory tract, and even while we are sneezing, the holding of their cilia with the cilia which is there inside our body lining of our respiratory tract will prevent them to out of the body, to throw out of the body. So all these mechanisms are there. So in spite of having all the anatomical barrier also we fall sick, and this is all because of the survival of the bacteria inside us, or their mechanism which they hold themselves inside our body or through the ciliary tract. So it's better to have a safe life, always be safe yourself, as nowadays it is been well regulated that we should always be having a clean hand, we should wash our hand, we wash our face also, so that it cannot enter in our inside our eyes, our mouth, and through our nostrils toward the lung section. So these all are about the anatomical barrier. So what we have studied about the anatomical barrier, I'm just having a look over this. So in the innate immunity, there are various components of the innate immunity, and along with this component, one of the major component is the anatomical barrier, which is basically provided by the skin and mucous membrane, which is lining our respiratory tract, gut and intestine. So all these prevent the entry of bacteria inside our body. Even if they are settled down in our skin, the skin pH will prevent them to grow. Even when they able to enter inside our eyes, it will be washed out by the tear, by the saliva. Even if we will take the microbes to our mouth, it will be washed out by the saliva, and when it will enter inside our gut, then the pH of our gut will prevent it to grow, and the cilia which is present along our respiratory tract will prevent, or the beating movement of the cilia will throw it out of our respiratory tract. But even then, in spite of all these barriers, they adapt, or they follow the mechanisms, macros follow the mechanism like binding with the cilia with their fimbriae or cilia, which prevent them to throw out. So all these were all about the anatomical barrier. Thank you for listening, and in the next class we will be discussing very briefly about the physiological barrier, which include the pH and temperature of our body. Till then, goodbye, and don't forget to subscribe my channel.